Welcome, everyone, back to episode 2 of the Roundup. With me, Harry D'Agostino, we have Matt Palmer, Joe Sponenberg with us today, and I don't know legality. Do we have the rights to the Rocky music? I don't think so, right?
I doubt it.
No, but I
doubt
say
it.
play it anyway.
I
I
mean,
mean,
we don't
we do have the
monetize
right-
it anyways. So
They're
we
not
have the
taking
right
my
to
money
have
if we get
our own right,
demonetized. I don't
which
care.
We didn't do.
I'm just saying I am back, ladies and gentlemen. The 8-team parlay hit last night.
There you go.
Good, actually.
I dialed it back one. And
I
guess
told
what
you,
it hit?
dude, last time. I was like,
But-
just take the one that lost off.
Yeah, that makes it a lot easier. But it wasn't in hockey. It was in international soccer, and it's much less sexy than the hockey one. An 18 parlay for plus 206 odds.
If you can remember 4 of the teams without looking it up, I'll
All right,
be really
I won't
impressed.
look. I won't
Like,
look at my screen. I won't look at my screen. I had Germany. I had Italy. I had
Oh, it's
Austria.
international. That's right. Oh, I thought it was
I had
club. I'm an idiot.
Canada.
Oh,
It'd be
no,
easier
never
if it
mind.
was
That's
club.
never mind.
All right, we'll run through. We had the odds are comical. We had Austria minus 1400, Italy minus 475, Poland minus 10,000, Germany minus 325, Hungary for minus 5,000, Switzerland minus 1,800, Canada minus 5,000, and the one that really made the money, Sweden minus 160.
Wait, who did Hungary play that they were a minus 5,000 against, or whatever it was?
San Marino. Yeah.
Let's go!
Yeah. And
I think it's been like 7 years since their last win or something like that, internationally.
yeah, it was rough, but it's a moneymaker. International soccer, heavy favorites, parlaying them is something that I love to do every international break. And then once the women's times come, all you do is bet the U.S. women's national team with the spread. Money maker. And the
I hate
over.
international break.
International break does suck, but it's a
Sucks.
moneymaker for me.
Oh, absolutely.
And another, I was just telling Joe and Matt about this. English Championship unders, especially Derby County. They're always at under 2, and it's really scary. But so many 1-0 in 0-0 games. It's the most boring way to bet. But honestly, all you do is you throw it in, you forget about it, and you wait 2 hours, and guess what? There's more money in your account.
Plus, also for any of our listeners that aren't familiar, when he says the championship, that's actually the second division. They made it really confusing. The third division's called League One. The fourth division's called League Two. It's a whole mess. So just go to the second division because he doesn't mean the Prem, and it's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing.
Figured that'd be relevant.
All right. Well, like I said before, we had to get the parlay out of the way just because I needed to redeem myself from last week's horrible loss. Like I said, this is the Roundup presented by BettorOff. You can find us on the App Store, the Google Play Store, and the Apple App Store, actually. That's where you can see me, Joe, and Matt's bets. They're all public. You can see how much we're winning, how much we're losing. Most of the time it's losing, but we're going to turn that around real fast.
Wait, yeah, you guys are winning?
Well, I mean, this parlay might be the start of something great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know if
the
I've
start of a
won
hot
in the
streak.
last, week.
A little bit of a hot streak is coming on for Harry, especially with club soccer coming back soon. At this week, the end of this week.
That's where
Alright.
I can start making some ground back, I think. But yeah,
Yep. So let's
check
go
us out on
from
the App Store.
a really high of my parlay to a really low. The United States is missing their third consecutive Olympic Games in soccer. The men
Yep.
are.
Oh yeah.
Who did we lose to, Matt?
I believe we
Honduras?
lost to the Honduras. Not
Yeah.
the Honduras, yeah. It's just one Honduras, but anyway.
Oh, did you see their second goal? Did any of you happen to see that?
Yeah, I'm trying to repress it.
The
goalie had a
for-
little bit of a shocker there.
Yeah, the goalie tried to clear the ball, hit the for the lack of a better term because I only know hockey, forechecker, and it bounced into the goal. So
Oh.
that's how we missed our third consecutive Olympic Games. Even though for some reason all of our really good under 23s were playing in a friendly versus Scotland or Northern Ireland.
Because why not? Yeah, Northern Ireland.
Northern
We talked about
Ireland.
on stream yesterday, yeah.
Did they win?
All I'm saying is
They did win. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
don't worry.
their
The one that
first
doesn't
win.
matter. The one that doesn't matter, we won. But the one
I think
that
that was
does
their
matter, we
first
lost.
away European win in like 5 years too, which is also wild.
No,
But anyway,
who they beat last week?
no, they beat. I'm saying European away win. Last week was North America. But yeah, no, the national team qualifying for the Olympics have a potential, maybe not Premier League backup, but at least like championship level, other European level goalie on the bench, and refuse to play him. All I'm saying is I don't think he would have done that. Am I a little bit biased because he plays for my favorite MLS team? Yes. But he was also like second in goalie of the year voting for the MLS, and I have no idea why he didn't at least get a look, because he'd been really solid all season. So that's my little like hindsight 2020 thing. But yeah, I don't know if they made the right call there.
I actually think that they were resting, all the young guys who play in Europe for the next World Cup qualifiers in 2 years. They're resting them. They don't want them to get injured. Who knows what could happen? Pulisic could just have a career-ending injury. You never know.
Never know.
All right. So now that we've bored most of our listeners away, let's get back.
I'm psyched. I talked about the only thing I know about, so I'm chilling.
Let's go back to what people really like in March every year. March Madness.
Yeah.
We had a lot of Sweet 16 action this weekend. I think we should start off first with a moment of silence for Loyola. I wanted them to do so well. How can you root against them? Sister Jean, such an inspiration.
Yeah, it's tough.
Is it because they're scheduled on a Saturday?
That's what I thought. They got screwed. They play a 1 seed on a Sunday, and all of a sudden they're through to the next round. Then they play on a Saturday. Nothing.
I mean, they played Oregon State, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Oregon State has been the hottest team in the country. Like, they have, what is it? I forget the exact number, but obviously including the tournament, they have however many wins in a row versus all tournament teams. Because the first round of the starting before the week before the Pac-12, they played like 2 tournament teams, probably like UCLA, USC, something like that. They played some of them. Then in their conference tournaments, since they were a 12 seed, they had to play the 1 seed. So the 1 seed was a tournament team. Then the next round was a tournament team, and then Pac-12 finals were a tournament team. Then obviously they've been playing in the tournament, so those are all tournament teams. Like, they've been in playoff mode for the past month now. And
yeah, I think we talked about that last time too.
Yeah,
you made a really good point, how they were like actually warming up for the tournament instead of just beating up on these teams that had no chance.
Yeah, no, so like they've played well, and they've continued to grow as a team, and it showed, because it's not even like they're not squeaking by on these wins. I said that last week. I'm going to say, like, they're not squeaking by. Like, they look like a solid team, and they don't look like a 12 seed. And the Pac-12 started later than every other conference because California does their own thing, and so they started later. They might have just been really rusty, shit the bed the first half of the season when they were a better team than what they showed, and now they're like in game shape and are actually looking like a contender.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about last week, and I think it's a theme that comes up every year. It's just getting hot at the right time, right? It's just as simple as that. So we have Sister Jean being really sad. The country is very sad because you just want to root for them.
Yep.
Another
moment. Wait, I feel like we need another moment of silence for my beloved Oral Roberts.
I was gonna say we're starting with the sad ones here. Oral Robert, heartbreak. They lose by 2 points. 2.
That ruined my weekend.
At that point, who'd they play? Arkansas?
Arkansas, yeah.
At that point, Arkansas doesn't even deserve it. They don't deserve it.
No? You don't think?
No, they do not whatsoever.
Well, do you think that...
What was the spread going into that game? Like 11?
It was probably double digits, but again, do you think that's just, like I talked about last week, the committee underseeding all these small conference teams, or is that, hey, Oral Roberts is having a good run?
I don't care as long as the 15 seed continues the Cinderella story. They could be criminally underseeded. If Gonzaga was a 16 seed, I'd be rooting for them too.
No, I'm the same way because it's like that's part of the fun of March Madness. It's like, yeah, there's teams that are supposed to win. It's kind of fun when they don't. Like that's at least what I, casual basketball fan, at a stretch, sign up to watch. Like it makes it interesting.
So then root for Oregon State and root for UCLA. You got a 12 seed and an 11 seed. It's not like we got ones and twos left.
We'll get there.
I wanted there, Joe.
We'll get there. But actually, me and Matt were hanging out the night of the oral game, and we're having dinner. Yes, beautiful dinner. And the oral versus Arkansas games on the screen, they are up like 8 points.
And everyone in that place was buzzing whenever they hit a shot. Like, people were going crazy for we don't care. We go to school in the Bronx, New York. They've never heard of Oral Roberts 2 weeks ago, and everyone's like backing them. They're like, oh, let's go. They're going to do it. And it was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, but they were up like 8 points, and being the degenerate I am, I hop on to the live lines and see what's looking like. Oral Roberts up 8 was plus 5.5 still, and I hammered it. Hammered it. I did sprinkle a little on the money line at plus 230, which hurt a little more when I saw them lose by 2. But, cashing the plus 5.5, even though they lost and they bowed out, no more oral jokes, they gave me one last little win.
There's got to be one in there somewhere. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it, but there's got to be one.
You know what? We tried to make this show family friendly, so you got to reel it in, Matt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. My hands are up.
All right, so I think the Baylor game, they win by 11. It's just kind of a non-factor, right? Like,
yeah, it's like okay,
that was just like an expected outcome.
Yeah, I mean, I had Villanova losing in the second round to Purdue. Purdue obviously lost in the first round, so that kind of got screwed up on my bracket. But, I mean, Villanova's best player was hurt. Like, they didn't look good in the Big East tournament. I didn't think that they were going to compete in this game. Baylor looked too good all season. They won their first round by 24. They won the next round by 13, and then they beat Villanova by 11. Like, they were just too good of a team for a Villanova.
They were just going to roll regardless, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the other 1 versus a 5 was Gonzaga versus Creighton. They win by 18.
Yeah, I mean,
Gonzaga's so gross. Yeah, it's like they're a machine at this point.
They are very scary, and I feel so stupid for not picking them to win the tournament because I was like, oh, there's no way that they're that good. They don't play anyone. And like, they always choke in March Madness. That's kind of their thing. So I was like, nah, there's no way they're winning it. They look way too good.
Hey, there's still 3 more games for them to choke in.
What'd you call it last week? The Gonzaga Invitational or something? Like, that's actually what it looks like right now.
At this point, it's the Gonzaga 2022 tryouts. They're just going to throw the freshmen in there and be like, hey, how good are you guys really? Show us what you got. Tournament. Yeah. It's just it just looks so easy for them. It's like they're not even breaking a sweat. Their bench just
I think dominant is a good word.
They might win it from the bench. Their bench just gets so hyped from the get-go.
Oh, yeah.
They could be winning by 30. Drain a 3, the bench is getting up and getting hyped. And I think that's
love
a big
good
factor.
Bench player in college sports. They make the team, honestly, if I'm going to give my 2 cents.
And then the last 1 seed to play this weekend was Michigan. They, again, won by 18 against Florida State.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if my memory is failing me.
Well, their best player-ish. Like, I think he's their best player, but, like, it's debatable. It's not like Villanova's best player was hurt in that.
Yeah. I just don't follow closely enough.
Michigan has a good amount of talent throughout their lineup, so, like, it is their best player, but it's not like...
It's not their only player.
It's not their... Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know if my memory is failing me, but are the 1 versus 5s and 1 versus 4 games usually 18-point wins?
No.
I feel like they were much closer in previous years.
No, they're normally closer. And I don't know. I again, looking at all the 2 5 seeds that got blown out by Gonzaga and Baylor, both out of the Big East, did not have good Big East tournaments. They both had problems coming in. Their coach for Creighton said something. It was either racist or just something to get canceled, pretty much. And then
Uh-oh.
and so
Uh-oh.
I forget what it was though. So they
Oh,
haven't
it was
looked
he said you guys can't leave the plantation, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Never a good look,
Oh.
especially right before
that's
March
not
Madness.
Yeah, and then Villanova, obviously,
Yeah, you don't
their
wanna do
best
that.
player was hurt, and so then Florida
And
State.
their assistant coach, his mind's already on Fordham. He's coming to Fordham, baby.
Oh,
He's coming to a basketball
yeah.
school. Bring it back.
Oh, yeah.
The revival.
And then Florida State, I have no excuse for. I don't know what the heck that was.
That was
Like,
like men
Yeah,
versus
that was
boys. That
brutal
game. It
on
looked
their
like, I mean,
yeah, that
Michigan. It wasn't 18 points. It wasn't a crazy blowout. It wasn't a 40-point game.
You don't just like
Michigan-
speak out an
Michigan,
18-point
yeah.
dub like that's a
Michigan
blowout.
just seemed like they were on cruise control, like from 10 minutes into the game. They were just like running the shit. Like they were just doing practice plays the whole time. Again, it was just like a gear up for the next game by halftime. One of the games though that actually was a lot of fun to watch: UCLA versus Alabama. Alabama was a 7-point favorite.
Yeah.
And me being the non-educated college basketball watcher, I see UCLA as a basketball school. Alabama's not a basketball school. Hammered +7. That hammered +7, and they go into halftime with an 11-point lead. I'm like, oh, turn this off. Hockey's on. I don't need this. Flip back to it. Oh my God, Alabama tied it up. Which one did win me the over. But 2 did scare me a little because, I mean, college sports are crazy. Maybe Alabama could win overtime by 7. But luckily, UCLA won overtime by 10. And so it was also
it sounds like you've been hot lately, Harry.
Well, let's talk about the fact, though, that, I mean, Harry, you said you flipped back to the game. I don't know if you saw. The Alabama kid, they're down by 1 with, like, I think it's, I want to say 5 seconds left, maybe 10. 2 free throws, misses both of them. UCLA goes down, hits a 2. Alabama goes down, hits the 3 to tie it. If he doesn't miss those 2 free throws, if he makes both of them, Alabama could have easily won that game. Because I think UCLA then had 5 seconds to do something. Like, that, you have to feel like crap the next day.
Oh,
like,
I can imagine the DMs this man is getting.
Oh my God.
Especially you come back from 11 at halftime.
Yeah.
And then you just get spanked in overtime.
Although apparently the college football committee actually has Alabama basketball already picked in the top 5 for next year's CFB ranking, so that's something.
Honestly, Alabama's starting 5 basketball players could probably make any college football team. These kids are freak athletes.
That's true.
Yeah, so, I mean, either way, they make those free throws, I still win my +7. Luckily.
Yeah, you would still win.
Just from luck, I hit the over. So, I've been getting hot.
Yeah, it's also given out kind of a hot streak
from what
here.
I'm saying, but I'm very intentionally not talking about hockey because hockey has not been treating me well. All the betting tips I gave last week have been burying me, but don't worry.
Yeah,
My uneducated March Madness and soccer picks have been building me up. I don't have specific hockey plays that have been hurting me. It's just
kind of a general sense of despair.
I don't know if it's just that time of the season where things kind of just start coasting and players are getting just tired of it. The level of play from some of these teams are not where I want it to be. I did when me and Matt were hanging out, I did hammer the Bruins live versus the Devils, and luckily they won, even though they can't score 5-on-5.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Here's one betting tip for you as a Boston fan. Don't bet on the Bruins to score any goals against the Devils because they're not going to do it. They've played, I think, 15 periods against them this season, they have 0 5-on-5 goals.
More because there's 2 overtime games.
Okay. In however many periods of hockey, so it's at least 5 full games, they have 0 5-on-5 goals. That's insane. That if you're playing against like the Islanders, sure. And this isn't me trashing the Devils. It's not. Like they have Mackenzie Blackwood, he's a really good goalie. They have depth.
Especially that save last night.
Yeah, he's really good. He is underrated as a goalie in the NHL. Anyway, it speaks way more about Boston than it does about New Jersey. Like you have to do something different at some point. I don't care if it's changing the lines when you play them. I don't know what it is, but you can't go that many games without scoring 5-on-5 against. And I don't mean any disrespect, but they're not one of the better teams in the league. Like statistically, they're just not.
Yeah,
you don't have to bring statistics into it. They are objectively just not one of the top teams, especially in the East.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing, because again, I also mostly only watch the Bruins when they play the Devils because
yeah. And I'm kind of the same way with the Devils. So
the biggest thing with the Bruins that, at least to me, it seems like they don't have any depth scoring. Like they only have the front line, and that's why they got absolutely killed by Tampa because they had to shut down one line last year in the playoff. Like that's why I feel like the Bruins never are able to get over that hump since 2011. And get that cup ring because if a team and like that line is so good, so it's not an easy task to shut them down. I'm not saying that. Like I'm not saying like the Devils can shut them down. Anyone can shut them down. Like if Pasta, Bergeron, and Marchand are on their game, like that's still a ridiculously hard task to shut them down. But that's why I feel like the Bruins don't do as well as they should. Like they rely so much on that, and if they're not clicking, if they don't have their A+ game, which they do a lot of the time, so again, that's why they finish first or second in their division, first or second in the conference normally. But in the playoffs, teams focus down, they buckle down on defense, and like you just need more players that can get that. Like you need more goals just occasionally from other guys, and it seems like that's the big issue.
I'll read you off their goal scorers right now. Yeah, so Pasta has 14. Bergeron has 10. It's not giving me stats for Marchand because I think he's been out the last couple games. Nick Ritchie has 9. Nick Ritchie should not be the third leading scorer on this team. I mean, maybe Marchand, but like then you look down the list. It's like Charlie Coyle, 5 goals. I mean, Trent Frederick, 4 goals. And then there's no forwards. Like David Krejci has 1 goal. He's a good player. He can't go a whole season scoring a goal and have them do anything. So
no, and again,
I don't know. It's frustrating as hell to watch.
Nick Ritchie having 9 isn't bad. That's what you need. You need guys like that. Like he's a power play guy. He's going to be in front of the net. You need guys who have 9, but then you also need Charlie Coyle to have 9 instead of 5. You need.
That's what I mean. It's like it's got to be at least balanced.
Like,
but anyway.
And so like that's why like if I was to pick any team out of the East top 4 right now to fall out, it would be the Bruins because
100%. They can't score.
Like they
have the defense, they have the goalie, they just can't score.
And I mean, the only thing that's saving the Bruins right now is the Flyers are trash, the Rangers are trash, the Devils are trash, and the Sabres aren't an NHL team.
The Sabres are going to get relegated at this point.
Like it's bad.
Which can't even actually happen. They're just gonna stop existing.
Like the Flyers fell off so hard. I don't know. Like they fell off so hard. They are. Hold on. I'm gonna use my phone to pull up the stats because I had them on my phone. The Flyers right now are 16, 13, and 4. So that's a 54.5 points percentage, which the NHL uses points, not wins, because you can get an overtime point in a loss. And they're a minus 18 goal differential. They have a positive record with a minus 18 goal differential.
Well, half of that goal
that.
differential is one game. The majority of that goal differential is the 2 games in the past 2 weeks versus the Rags.
No, if they didn't have those 2 games, they're either looking at a +2 or -2, like in that range.
That's not good enough for that level of team. Yeah,
that's the Rangers are at exactly 500, NHL 500. So 15, 15, and 4. Technically have more losses than wins, but overtime points. NHL 500. They're a +15 goal differential. which again was because they beat up on the Flyers.
Is that one game? That's literally a 9-0 win and a 7-1 win. The rest of their games, they're even. Without those games, they are even. There's 0 goal differential.
It's so bad. And I don't know what happened in Philly. I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week, but like, I don't know how they fell off this hard, because they looked fine at the start of the season. They looked meh in the middle. Like, they were playing like 500 hockey. Like, wasn't anything great, but they're still in contention for a playoff spot. And like, they're still in contention with the Bruins for the playoff spot. They're only 3 points behind them, and the Bruins have 2 games in hand. But still, like, you can make up that difference. That's not insurmountable. But like, do you have any confidence watching that team at all?
Absolutely not.
Like,
no shot.
It's so bad.
I do not.
Okay.
All right. We're coming towards the end. We have about 5 minutes left. I just want to get into something that I've been wanting to talk about. We didn't have time last week. I want to talk about less efficient betting markets. So the thought process is that the NFL is the worst sport to bet on to win long term, right? There's so many people bet on it that's where sport books put all their resources for their models. They have so much data that the spreads are so perfect. The overs hit by 1, the unders lose by 1. The spread is you win by the hook, right?
Yeah.
So I want to talk about
interns
markets.
get screwed when trying to make picks for their internship on Twitter.
Yes, exactly.
It happens.
You guys got a little body, but the 2 markets that I've been seeing mixed results, I would say, as I learned to navigate them a bit, but profitable, are esports, specifically Call of Duty, and racing, specifically Formula 1. So first with esports and Call of Duty, they play a best of 5 series on 5 different maps, and you can, let's just say hypothetically, you can bet a team -1.5, so they have to win 3-0 or 3-1, and you can get -110, let's say. But you can also bet the exact map score, and you can bet 3-0 and 3-1 at like +250 each. And so if you're confident for them to win -1.5, you can lock in an extra like +60 on each bet. And I don't know if it's the sport books just not caring about it and not enough people bet it, but you can bet under 3.5 maps, but that has to be a 3-0 win, and get like double the odds.
Mm-hmm.
And then in Formula, like, all you have to do is watch a little bit, and you understand more of than the sport books. Like in Call of Duty, yesterday,
all it takes is just doing it again and seeing how it works. Like,
there were roster changes that you saw on Friday and Saturday, and the new roster changes were absolutely smoking people. But these 2 new rosters were each like +300, +400 underdogs on Sunday, and they both won.
Because they just didn't get updated.
It was just printing money. And then Formula 1, again, all you have to do is watch practice.
I was going to say just bet Lewis Hamilton, but yeah, that also would work.
But Lewis Hamilton did win, but also he was in second, and he was an underdog to win. And so like after practice, I bet him and Max Verstappen both at +165, because the Red Bull is more competitive this year, but and it's gonna be a 2-dog race this year. Anyone who watches Formula 1 knows that. It's the same cars as last year. Red Bull has a better engine, so they're gonna be closer. Like, so when Red Bull starts looking better, the sport books panic and just even out Hamilton and Verstappen at +165. And more often than not, one of those 2 is gonna win. And I'm sure it's not gonna stick around for long. But yeah, that was just. But while you can get it,
I mean, like, it's something that isn't in the mainstream.
They finished within a second of each other, a really close race. The next car, Hamilton's teammate, was like 40 seconds down the road.
I mean, I think it mainly comes down to the fact, though, that, like, well, yes, some people bet to make money, and like everyone likes making money. a lot of people bet because it makes it more interesting to watch. And if I don't want to watch Formula One. Like, I'm not a Formula One fan. I don't want to watch Call of Duty. I don't like Call of Duty. I'm not going to put money on it, no matter how. Like, it has to come to a point where it is so profitable, and I can see the consistent results that, okay, sure, I'll throw money on it because I'll just literally consider it an investment or something. But
Yeah, I know what you mean.
like most people bet because they want to watch it. Like I fill out a bracket every year for March Madness, and I throw money on it with all my friends because it makes the
It gives
game.
you a vested interest, yeah.
Like, I can sit there for however many hours, avoid doing schoolwork, and watch basketball where I slightly care about the results because I put money on it. I don't really have any interest in waking up at 7 a.m. to watch cars drive around in a circle. Like,
Well, one,
that
it's
to me
not a
isn't.
circle. This is a NASCAR. And two, it's not. It wasn't at 7. It was at 11 a.m. Joe.
Okay, you get my no, but like I'm just
know.
saying, like,
I understand your point.
It's not profit, like why the sports books don't care enough about it. It's because there's so many people like me that just don't want to watch it. So I'm not going to bet on something I can't watch. Like,
Well,
Sports books
now,
hate this
for
man.
all the
Find out
kids,
why.
for all the kids watching, that is a loser mentality. When I'm on my yacht,
Yeah, suck it,
when
Joe.
I'm on my yacht, maybe I'll bring you on as part of the staff with all my Formula
Yeah,
One
me and Harry are
winnings.
going to be big chilling on his yacht after betting Call of Duty for like
Yeah,
a
no.
year straight.
Like I said, like I would bet it if I saw that it was that profitable. Like, you show me the numbers. Like, if like there's a guy on Twitter, let's just say, who tweets out Call of Duty picks, and I'll see like what he's doing. He's like, oh, I'm this % profitable. I'll do it. But by the time someone who comes out like that is like big enough on Twitter where it
Books
shows
would probably have already kind of
books
figured
will
their shit
then
out.
be like,
Yeah.
okay, there's too many people following this account. We kind of need to devote someone to make sure these lines at least make sense. Like,
Or
That
they
makes
just
sense. It does.
if it's something that you care about, like Harry, you like, let's just say, like watching Call of Duty, or our one friend loves watching Rocket League. Like, he knows those lines so much
Yeah,
better
like
than the
back
sport.
of his hand. It's insane.
And so, like, he can pick it out. But to me, I have no interest in watching it, so I'm not going to do it. Whereas I think I know a good deal about the NHL, but so do the sports books. So I'm kind of in a bad position to try and bet it. Whereas with where you're saying the NFL is the hardest thing to predict, to me, that was my best season until the playoffs, because the sports book seemed to go way more with public opinion and everything. So I would just shut off the radio, shut off the TV, not listen to what people said, pick based on what I thought was going to happen, only take money lines, don't deal with the spread. And I was profitable during the NFL because I didn't care what people said. I did my own thing. Whereas, like you're saying, the sports books know it down to a point, and they know what people think the spread is going to be, and they know what people think the over and under is going to be. So they'll put it at that one point to get enough movement, like 50-50 on each side, unless they really believe something else and they think they can get all the public money on one side and then kill the public. But, like, for me, I just ignore everything that people say, and I'll just go with what I think is going to happen, especially on money lines, because there I'm just like, I don't know how much this team is going to win by. I don't have the stats in front of me, but you know what? I think this team
they're going to win. Yeah.
Yep. Maybe Joe should go into a psych major. That sounded like
That
a
would
psych
be
student to me.
unreal.
Yeah. But like we said earlier, you can find all of our picks. You can find Joe's history in the NFL on the BettorOff app, available on the Google Play Store and Apple App Store.
That's the nice thing about it. You can see Joe be on a hot streak and just be like, oh, I'm just going to follow his picks. Or like fade whatever Harry does in NHL or something like that. Or fade anything I do ever, because I am god awful. But yeah, it's cool. You can comment, you can like stuff. It's nice. It's social. It's a good time.
Get on there. We're adding new leagues every few weeks. We will be getting into the smaller stuff like esports and Formula One. Like I said, you'll be able to see all the crazy bets that I do.
Turkish fourth league soccer.
Yeah, Turkish fourth league soccer.
I mean,
it'll be coming eventually.
Harry, until we have the capabilities on our app for the smaller leagues, you should put something in the comments so people have to click on one pick a week or like one pick a day. So you also have like your Call of Duty attached as a comment.
There you go.
Oh, that's
Get some
actually a good idea.
interactions.
I like
Get
that.
some interactions
Yep.
in there.
And then you have to look at people's comments.
Like I said last week, Joe should be the boss around here.
Yeah, this is why Joe gets paid. Just kidding.
All right. Well, that's all the time we do have today. We will be back next week with another episode of the highly anticipated Roundup presented by BettorOff. I've been Harry. Who wants to go
I'm
next?
Joe.
There he goes.
Hi, I'm Matt.
And that's Matt. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and we'll catch you next week.